Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are completely new, hello, I'm sincerely Niko. Definitely hit that subscriber button and let me zoom y'all out because y'all a little too close. Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are completely new, hello, I'm sincerely Niko. Definitely hit that subscriber button and join me here on YouTube where it is lit, honey, lit. So as you guys can see what the title is below, we are going to be looking at the dupe for the Subculture palette. There's only one or two videos on YouTube about this, and I want to kind of break the YouTube sphere again. So yeah, Bad Habit created a palette called Retro Love that was supposed to be a iconic dupe for the Subculture palette. So if you guys are interested in if this is a dupe or not, keep on watching this video. So on September 26th, ShopHush.com released this palette in collaboration with Bad Habit Beauty, which is a brand that clearly do a lot of complete dupes of some of the Anastasia products. They also have another palette, which I went and picked up as well too, which is the Royal palette, which is a complete dupe of the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. This palette has been deemed as a dupe for the Subculture palette, as you guys can see here. Again, like I said, this palette retail price for $10. And then I do have the Subculture palette because I had this palette since my first impression video. If you guys have not seen that, I will leave the information right up in the I section above us so you can kind of watch that. But nevertheless, if you're here for this and you're thinking about buying this palette, this will definitely give you some idea on that. The Subculture palette was released on July 25th of 2017. This palette right here retails for $42, where it has 14 shades. All of them range from your duochrome, so your mattes, 11 mattes, 2 shimmers, and 1 duochrome. It also comes with a brush and a full-size mirror. Again, this palette retails for $42. If you break down the cost of the amount that you're paying for this particular palette, excusing out the brush, just, you know, charging it full as is for the palette, dividing it by how many shadows you have, each shadow comes up to about $3 per eyeshadow, which isn't really bad because majority of Anastasia's eyeshadows retail price for $12 per eyeshadow, or $10 if you discount it with the palette. So by getting this particular palette is a great steal because again, it discounts all the eyeshadows down to $3 instead of $10 to $12 for each eyeshadow, which her single pots are sold as. Nevertheless, on ShopHush.com, Bad Habit released a product with them called the Retro Love palette, which is also known to be a sheer dupe for the Subculture palette. This was released on September 26th, 64 days after the palette. This palette right here retails for $10. It does not come with a brush, but it does come with a full-length mirror. If you break down the cost per eyeshadow for this particular palette by the amount that you pay for it, each eyeshadow is broken down to about 72 cents per palette. Again, Bad Habit had 64 days to create this palette. So looking at the back of each of these palettes and looking at the ingredients, I do see that both of these products have the cruelty-free product where they said they're cruelty-free. This one definitely has the bunny. This one doesn't have the bunny, but it does state that this product was a cruelty-free product. Moving forward, looking at the ingredients, I do see that talc is the main ingredients for both of the palette, but here is the catch. The second ingredient on all the eyeshadows made in the Bad Habit palette was mica, whereas the second to last, or almost close to the end of each of these eyeshadows in the Subculture palette was made with mica. So mica is not the second ingredient to bind or mix in with talc. On further investigating on the palettes for the ingredients, I do see that both of them have some silicone or dimethicone based ingredients. The Subculture doesn't have a lot, but whereas the Bad Habit product does, it has a lot of silicone based products and some silica based products as well too. Keep in mind that is not a bad thing at all. Silicone based products is a binding agent which allows a lot of products to glide. So think of your moisturizers or your primers. Those have silicone based products in it to allow the products to glide evenly over a surface. So this is supposed to blend a lot better than this. and I will be testing that out today in my demo. But before we get into the demo, I do want you guys to pause this video, comment below, and let me know which side you think is the Bad Habit side and which side do you think is the Anastasia side. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of posing so you can comment below. Let me know which is which. This is my left eye, which is you guys right. This is my right eye, which is you guys left. Let me know below which palette is which, and let's go ahead and get into this demo. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this part. I know you guys are eager to see how these blend. So I'm going to do the corresponding palette with the corresponding eye. So on my left eye, which is you guys right, I will be doing the Retro Love palette by Bad Habit. And on my right, which is you guys left, I will be doing the Subculture palette by Anastasia. I'm going to be using the NYX eyeshadow base in Skin Tone. You guys know I use this religiously on my channel, so there's nothing new. Then I'm going to set my base with the RCMA Colorless Powder. And to prevent cross-contamination or colors transferring from one palette to the other, I'm going to be using my Veramona Color Switch palette here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get it started. So I'm going to start on this side eye first. I'm going to be using the Retro Love palette, and the color of choice that I want to use is the Rock and Roll shadow. Tapping into this palette, it does have a little bit of kickback, but it's not bad at all. So let's go ahead and see if this blends. Initial thought of this color, Rock and Roll, it blends like a dream. This is what I'm pretty sure like everyone thought that the Subculture should have been able to do, but of course Subculture was not built or created for a makeup artist in mind. It was created for a pro in mind. So I want to say this palette so far is very beginner friendly. So far this gets a thumbs up for me, but I'm going to go ahead and move to the Subculture palette on this eye with the color All Star, and let's see how that blends. So I'm going to move on into my next color. Again, I'm going to take my Veramona Color Switch and I'm just going to wipe off the shadow. And then I'm going to go back into the Retro Love shadow, and I'm going to be using the color Youth, which is this color that's supposed to look like fudge from the Anastasia palette. And I'm just going to blend that right on into the crease. Again, color switching it off. And then I'm going to step right on over to the Anastasia palette and pick up the color Fudge. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, just blend that all over my lid, circular motions. Looking at the two, Youth is very much of a warm tone brown, quote, air quotes, whereas Fudge is a little bit more deeper. So the two shades are not quite a similar dupe. Switching over to my MAC 224, I'm going to take the color Nostalgia, which is that deep plummy shade from the Retro Love palette, and I'm going to tap that on, and I'm just going to kind of blend in Nostalgia with Fudge and a little bit of Rock and Roll and create a halo-ish eye, kind of keeping it tapered. Color switching my brush, going into, and it literally cleaned it completely off, so that's cool. Going into Roxy from the ABH palette. Remember, don't pick up too much because this is pigmented. And I'm going to go in these same spots on my eye. And you guys can already see this barely shows up, but Roxy is over here, you know, playing with the girls. Alright, so this is a first pass of both of them. I'm going to go back into the Rebel Love palette, and I'm going to go back into that Nostalgia color with my MAC 224. And I'm going to try to build up a color so that it can at least look even, of course. I'm really trying to pack this shadow on, and it's not as pigmented as Roxy. So I'm going to go back into the Retro Love palette, and I'm going to take this shadow here, which is called Revolution. And I'm just going to take it on a flat shader brush. And I'm going to pack this right on the center. It's very pigmented. Color switch. And then I'm going to go into the Anastasia palette and I'm going to grab the color Adorn, which is a similar color. Try not to swatch so much because again, these are so pigmented. So far, so good with this eyeshadow. Can't complain at all. Colors look almost identically alike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hop off camera and I'm going to complete the face. I'm going to add some concealer and highlight and contour, all that good jazz. And then we're going to do the under eyes when I come back. And I will give you guys some swatches and all of that good jazz. So stay tuned and keep on watching this video. I'm going to add an inner corner highlight. But I really wanted to see if one of the major colors in this palette, which is the color Psychedelic, this white, is very similar to the Anastasia Cube, where it's like a iridescent pink shift. But before we do that, because I know that really don't show up too well on my shade or give a better read, I'm going to go into my Kat Von D eyeshadow palette, the Shade Light eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to take this bone white, not the pure white, but the bone white, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner of my eye just to give it a little bit of brightness before I lay down those two shadows, just to see if it really highlights. I'm going to take this Sephora pencil brush and I'm going to take the color Psychedelic and I'm just going to pack that in the inner corner of my eye in hopes that it reads just like the other one, and it does. Oh girl, this is a pure dupe. She's turning pink, and that's what Cube does. It turns pink on my skin tone. Clean off my brush with the Verimona color switch. Going in with Cube. This is my first time actually using Cube in my palette. And I'm gonna pop that right on top of that Kat Von D shade. And I really don't have to do that much work. I am shook. I am shooketh. I am shooketh to the core. Shook. Alright guys, so this is pretty much the completed look of these two palettes on my eyes. As you guys can see, there are some significant difference, but it's very, 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 very close in replication. So if you guys want to know about my final thoughts, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so my final thoughts of these palettes is that, is this really worth getting, saving kind of ordeal? So I do own the Subculture, and it was by Gifting or PR. Shout out to Lucy. Hi Lucy. They're both worth it if you're looking to get that shock factor with a lot of pigment and you want it to really, 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 really pack on and bold out an eyeshadow. The Anastasia is worth it. Honestly, I never regretted getting this palette and using it and saying, you know, what I had to say about this in my first impression video. Now, comparing that to the Bad Habit palette, this is very blendable. So in general, I would say if you are a pro artist and you don't mind packing on the shadows and taking your time to blend, then the Subculture palette is a really worth buy for that palette. But if you're looking for something to just put on the eye, hope it blends, it does blend of course, but putting something on the eye, letting it blend, and it's very price affordable, and it's for your beginners who don't really know how to do eyeshadow, then the Retro Love palette will probably be the best choice to pick. These are going to be some great stocking stuffers for the younger makeup enthusiasts like my 17, 18-year-old girls who are into makeup, but mom and dad don't want to spend $42 on an eyeshadow palette. You can pick these palettes up for $10 because these are a sheer, complete, straight-on dupe of the Anastasia palettes that your children are been eyeing. This side right here being that it is the Retro Love eyeshadow side. It literally looks very much identical to the Subculture side. And some of the swatches that are on my arm in this video is very much identical to each other. So I'm super duper excited that this palette is available. I think it's currently sold out right now. Let me double check. It is currently sold out, and today is the 29th. So this palette was literally released Tuesday, and Friday it's sold out. I literally got my package in 3 days from me ordering this package. If you guys love this video, please give it a thumbs up, share this video, comment below, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'm going to end this video here so I can edit it and upload it as quick as possible so you guys can have this content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.
Ladies,